I'm doing good, man. We had my daughter's birthday party yesterday, so everything's relaxed around here. People are just sleeping all day. You know how it is after party, bro. Like everybody gets tired.
Nice, nice.
Hell yeah, man. So where are you calling in from today? Where do you call home nowadays?
San Diego.
Oh, so
So
you're back home in the hometown then. Okay.
yes, yes. I stayed here, and I'm here doing pitching lessons and helping out kids baseball. That's about it.
Okay. So you were growing up you grew up in that greater San Diego, Tijuana area when you was little. Like
Yes.
why did you choose like baseball over like surfing, soccer, shit like that? What was it that when you were little
Um,
decided you get in
my
that?
my dad was a big. He played football in high school, and he
Okay.
liked baseball. So we all. I have two. I have an older sister and a younger sister, and they both played softball, played baseball. All grew up. Me and my little sister were catchers. Older sister was first base, shortstop. So
Okay.
kind of baseball family. So softball. So we just kept on playing.
Okay. Now, when you was growing up, did you have any like non-baseball hobby? I mean, you had some non-baseball hobbies, but like not even non-sports, like karate, was into music, something like. What was your when you weren't fucking out with the baseball? What else was you doing?
Fucking around. I don't know. Just normal stuff in like kids. Like we're little. Kickball, football, basketball. We played a little bit of everything. Ride our bikes all around town. The jumps. Like there's always a canyon where people make jumps. You do that, and kind of I don't know, do ride our bikes to like the other part of town and see what's up, and try to ride our bikes to the beach. Things like that.
We do the same thing even up here in Cleveland. I mean, it's funny because our beach is Edgewater, and as long as it doesn't rain, Edgewater Beach isn't too bad. But like the bad thing, Jose, about Edgewater Beach in Cleveland, Lake Erie in general, is that the storm sewers like pipe directly into the lake. So after it rains, like everything from the lake just runs off and goes directly untreated into the lake. So like the
Right.
bacteria kicks up and they got to shut it down. So like if it rains, you can't go to lake swim at Lake Erie. But man, if it hasn't rained in like 2-3 weeks, that's a really cheap, fun beach, Lake Erie, right down the street. It really is, man. Yeah, I'm taking that takes you back to driving bikes and stuff. It's
Yeah.
funny, man. I feel like a shitty parent because like my kids like getting ready to drive. The older one, well, I got 3 kids. Nikki, the older one, Kayla, she's not doesn't live here anymore. But the younger two, the older one of the younger two, she's getting ready to drive here, and I don't think I ever taught her to ride a bike, which is horrible. I feel like a bad
That's
parent.
right.
I don't think about
Time
it. It's
flies.
ridiculous.
Time flies. Goes
My
fast.
goodness. Right. Well, when she was like little, she had the training wheels bike, but then like and for some reason I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. I had all intents and purposes of you don't see kids ride bikes anymore. You don't. I
Oh,
mean,
not anymore. Hardly ever.
dude, we used
I
to
have some younger kids, and they ride the bike once in a while, but I mean, not like things. I don't know. Kids are not out doing stuff anymore.
and a lot of it is it's not just the bikes and it's kids got so many different options now. I mean, a lot of parents are paranoid too, so there's that. Like if you
Yes.
let your kid, like back in the day, we could walk down the street, right? And the whole neighborhood would kind of watch us because you knew everybody.
Right.
Oh, there's Mrs. Johnson on the street. There's Mrs. Ray. She watch you. Whatever. The people watch you. Old people watch you. Now, if a kid goes walking down the street, fucking people are calling cops on him. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's some kid walking down the street. He's got to be selling drugs because that's what kids do. They can't think of the kids. I feel bad for kids nowadays in a way. But they got them video games, so they might be all right. But we'll see. We'll see. I got to get back on a bike though, man. It's been forever. All right.
Yeah.
So back to hold on one second, my man. Back to when you were little here. Now you mean you were around the same age, you're in Southern California. Now Fernando Valenzuela, did he have he's a very big Fernando Mania in the 80s. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, there's this pitcher named rest in peace, but his name was Fernando Valenzuela. It was a Mexican American pitcher, and man, this guy he brought the gas for the Dodgers. You're down there in California. Did he play any influence in your thing? Were you a big Fernando fan when you was little?
Well, yeah. I was born in Tijuana, so Mexican ball player. Growing up, Fernando was everything. Like always watch Fernando pitch. Everything Fernando Valenzuela, which was awesome. But I was right-handed,
Okay.
and I was kind of more of a catcher when I was growing up. So I like watching him. But then my favorite pitcher then was Nolan Ryan,
Okay.
honestly. But me being Mexican and stuff like that, my dad and everybody used to watch Fernando every time he pitched. But my favorite pitcher was Nolan Ryan, and the catchers I used to watch were like Johnny Bench and Mike Scioscia, you know, uh, Terry Kennedy from the Padres, Benito Santiago, those kind of guys. Those are the guys I grew up with watching. So
Benito, that's a name. I heard that
yeah,
name. Because the Padres had Benito and they had Sandy Alomar, and then
yes,
we traded I think it was Joe Carter. We got like Sandy Alomar and Carlos Bayer. I think it was another guy we got back, but that was a great trade for both.
yeah.
That's all. Yeah, and Nolan Ryan too. What a long career, right? Like I mean, because I was this guy. Here's a guy who pitched in the '60s, right? And he was still throwing gas and no hitters into the '90s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, in the 1990s, and it's weird, man. Goes there because you think about it, these guys pitched the Nolan Ryans, the Randy Johnsons. They pitched well into their 40s. These guys now don't do that. What's your take on the arm fatigue? I mean, is it just people were just tougher back then? Are they micromanaging the pitching too much? I mean, you got kids in high school getting this Tommy John surgery. What's the deal with the arm?
I know. I think it's it's just like anything. Guys try to do what guys do in the big leagues and forget that the kids are kids. They can't do what grown men are doing, like lifting and doing those arm exercises, the weighted balls. I think they depend too much on the weighted ball thing. Like, I'm going to throw harder if I do weighted balls. No, you're going to throw harder because you're going to get taller. You're going to get more meat on your bones. Your muscles need to grow still, develop your tendons, everything, your throwing mechanics. I think that has a lot to do with everything. And with the kids, especially, I think they play way too much baseball, like game-wise, instead of practicing more, get their fundamentals down. And travel ball baseball, not knocking it, but I think they just play way too many games on one weekend. And I don't remember playing 5-6 games in a weekend. I remember playing double headers in Tijuana, maybe one game on Saturdays here in San Diego, and then we drive, Sundays to Tijuana, and maybe a game during the week, but you have time off. And I didn't pitch every game. I was catcher, and I'd pitch once in a long while. But I think those kind of things, kids can hold. I notice more because I give pitching lessons. I see kids trying to throw a circle changeup and they can't even hold the ball. Like the ball goes everywhere. Yeah, it's like they're 3-finger changeup. The circle change, you have to hold it a certain way, and their hands could barely hold the baseball. And I'm like, well, that's not a good changeup. You're not going to learn. That's not. You're pushing the ball. You're not gripping the ball. You don't have no control. It messes with your confidence. Kids don't want to throw that pitch. Then you teach them a different pitch where they hold, 3-finger changeup where they could hold the ball, and it starts coming out. They're like, oh, that works way better. And I think that goes to say for everything like that. Like, oh, the bands I like, keeps them moving. If you do them right, if you do them the right way, kids are not going to do them the right way unless they're supervised. So all those things take into measure. They play all year round. I didn't play all year round. You have time off to mess around, be a kid. I think those are the things that are a little bit more the difference between then and now.
So I'm not really familiar with. Last time I played organized baseball was 8th grade, little league, I think. But so these kids nowadays, are they go? I'm kind of hip to like the AAU travel league stuff, but in a normal baseball season, say like a high school baseball season, or college, whatever, doesn't it start like late February and go to maybe June? Is there what's the baseball they're doing beyond that? Are they going year round and like different summer leagues?
Yes, and then after that, some kids don't even take a break and they'll go to a travel ball team with their age group. Even there's travel ball teams 8, 9U now, so they're playing all year round, and they're not really getting taught the fundamentals of the game, like how to catch a ground ball, how to run the bases, how to where to throw the ball, the cutoff in relays, bunt coverages. They're told what pitches to throw, how to set up players. The hitters. They don't know a coach that played a long time ago or whatever. He's calling the pitches, and they're throwing way too many curveballs, like at a young age. I think
Right.
when they could just be throwing fastball and changeup. I think a lot of those things come from that. Like, it's not the kid's fault. I think it's more of the parents' fault, the adults, like everything else, like pushing their kids to do stuff, like too much. I think just too much. You got to force them a little bit, but just to get them out there. But I think they're gonna fall in love with the game sooner or later. If they don't,
Right.
they don't. But I think they have to be pushed a little bit. But I think they'll figure it out by themselves. Like, playing wise, if you love the game, you're going to keep playing. You want to practice. You want to play, which I understand. But there's a overdoing it sometimes. Like playing. Like I said, playing earlier, like playing 6 games in a weekend. Like, come on, like that's
That's
way
a
too
lot.
much. And then you practice 4 times a week. It's more like money thing.
Okay. Now we got a question from Doof coming in from lovely England. Says, hi, I'm Mr. Jose Silva, sir. Welcome to this show. Did you ever think baseball would make it back in the Olympics? Like, it was like a demonstration sport in the 80s, I think, wasn't it? Because I remember like
Yes.
Michael Wire cards and Charles Nagy and shit like that. But like, it's back now. So like, I'll piggyback on this. Like, some countries, he's from Great Britain, so I don't know to tease him about the Great Britain baseball team, but like, is there enough players in some of these teams to make like the world, or enough players in some of these countries to make like the World Baseball Classic, like truly a World Baseball Classic, and not just, the Americas and Asia kind of thing? Like in Europe, in Africa, I would imagine Australia. Well, Australia probably has a team, but like a lot of these places don't have it's not like an Olympics. Like Olympics, everybody's gonna have a sprinting team, that kind of thing. Is there going to be a time when one of Great Britain, one of France is going to have a baseball team, and with international stuff? What's your take there?
I think so. To answer his question, thanks for reaching out. I think right now Olympics is. I was in the Olympics with Mexico. I was one of the pitching coaches with Mexico. 2000 was it 21? We went. It was 2020, right? But we went in 2021 because of COVID. But it's the city where it's at. They choose the sports. So, the next one is going to be in LA. They'll have baseball, softball. They'll have all that, and wherever it is, they choose. So, and on your question, I think it's growing more. Baseball's growing out to other countries because it's another sport that, here Latin America, United States, Canada, there's a lot of baseball. Australia, they have baseball. Japan, Orient. But a lot of other countries, they don't. India's starting to do it. Spain has been coming around for a while. Italy, there's been professional baseball there for a long time too. It hasn't grown as much, but they're still there. It's just love of the game. People have to get out there, teach, and get the kids involved and have them, like I said before, it's developing. It's encouraging the kids to like the game. And there's some coaches out there that, discourages kids not to like it because they get screamed at, yelled at. Baseball's not easy. If it was easy, everybody'd be good.
Right.
There's only been 21,000 Major League Baseball players. So it's not that easy. It's kind of hard. But if you stick with it and kids love it, that's how they're gonna keep going.
Well, that's the beauty of baseball, Jose, is that like anybody can do baseball. Like basketball, unless you're 6'9" or higher, your chances of making it basketball professionally wise, kind of not there. Same thing with football.
Right.
Unless you need a certain body type, like you're 6'5", 330. Okay, you can play line. If you're 6'5", 260, you're not playing in the pros. It's the way it works. And like baseball, you get guys, Kirby Puckett was 5'6", John Crook, and then other guys are 6'10", Randy Johnson. Any height, weight. If you study the discipline, you could be disciplined, get the fundamentals. You can make it to the pros. You really can. We had on Jim Rushford a couple weeks ago. He's just a regular guy. If you took me and him and put it, even you and me, you and him, put him in a thing. Hey, pick the baseball player out of these three guys. They'd be like, they would, unless they knew us, they'd be poking random. You know, that's the beauty of baseball is that you don't have to be the fastest guy in the room, the strongest guy in the room. You can learn your way up and study and discipline. And all it takes is in a 162 game season, man, all it takes is one break. You can make it in there. And even if you get up there for 1 or 2 games, I mean, how cool is that though? Right? I mean, it's the rest of your life, you just walk around, you can always drive. Oh yeah, I played baseball one time, because like, really, so that's what's cool about baseball. That's what, and it's no clue, the hotter the weather, the more chances you are to play baseball as a kid. So the better you're going to be, kind of thing. That's what, the Dominican, when you throw it out there, I mean, the place is a baseball factory because it's nice out. You're 24 hours a day. Or year round, it's nice out, so you can play baseball year round and then developing the culture, and up here in the States, where a lot of other places there's nothing else to do, so they don't do or there's other shit to do, so they don't do the baseball. But like, let some of these other countries learn it and get into the culture, India and like you said, and even China and like all of Africa, fucking hell, there's unlimited possibilities for the training in baseball. I mean, you look at a nation like Japan, for example, like what's Otani? He's not a physical specimen. It's not like this guy's 6'9". 250, he's probably smaller than me, I think. And he's out there dominating. And this is just a regular guy. You get something like that, that's a great opportunity for the rest of the world. So definitely pay attention to that. Like, just because dude says universal. So yeah, all over, man. Doesn't take a lot. It's a lot of discipline. That's what I love about baseball. It's a thinking man's game. It really is. Thinking man's
game. It's very much thinking. Very much. Very much.
All right. So back in the day, what did your parents, like, kind of music did they bring you up on? And did that change over the years? Like my parents say, like, my mom liked the Beach Boys, my dad kind of was whatever, but then I just transitioned like hair metal and stuff like that. Like, what was your music influences from when you were?
Well, when I was growing up, like, mariachi. We're typical. We're Mexican. Growing. My dad liked oldies, Mexican music. When I was growing up, I grew up here in San Diego, so it was like rap. Rap started coming in. Okay. I grew up on that reggae. Stuff, like Carlos Santana, like a little jazz and stuff like that. My dad listened to a little bit of everything, but I still listen to oldies and stuff like that, like music I used to listen to when I was a kid. So it was.
Right, were you in the era of walk-up songs? Did you have a walk-up song at all, or no?
I didn't do that. I didn't really care. Like I was just like, whatever. I just want to play.
Okay. Well, if you could pick a walk-up song, like say you're coming out of the bullpen or something, they say, "And now coming the pitch, Jose Silva." What song would you pick?
Right now, shit, I don't know. So rough, so tough out here, oldie.
Okay.
So rough, so tough out here. I like that. I always like that one. It's like kind of chill.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, what was there a point at your life where like you, your coaches, maybe your dad, started realizing that you were like pretty good at baseball? Like,
that's funny. You say that. We're talking about that the other day. Someone asked when I started realizing I was throwing kind of hard. So I used to catch and start pitching a little bit because I started throwing the ball back harder than it was coming in. So we're gonna make you pitch. My knees started hurting too. I started getting taller, and I pitched in a game. It was in high school here in San Diego, and it had lights. So the lights weren't that good. So I was blowing it by people, and my dad and like a cousin of mine, they're sitting there. They're like, "Hey, is he throwing harder?" He's a coach. They're coaches, right? And they're like, "Is he throwing harder?" It's probably just the lights. It's probably just the lights. So then I was like, "Hey, I feel like I'm throwing harder and blowing it by guys." They're like, "Nah, it's just the lights, dude. It's just the lights." I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So next time I pitched, it was a day game. Same thing, blowing it by guys. And I was like, can't be the lights now. It can't be the lights now. I'm throwing a little harder now. They started laughing. They're like, yeah, actually, you're throwing a little harder. They're like, because you're. It just looks harder because you're big, right? And then after that, just a little bit at a time, just start throwing harder and harder, So that was I remember that clearly because laugh about that and because your parents usually like, oh, how hard is he throwing? We weren't like that. Our family was more like, dude, you're not pitching a lot, you suck. Like like hey, here's a pillow because you ride the bench a lot. Here's a pillow to sit on. That's how I basically grew up. Like
I love it.
those kind of.
Well, was there like a point though when you like realized, or some of your coaches, whoever was mentoring you, like, okay, this guy's got some gas, just so like he could potentially make it to the next level? Like, because like I remember back when I played Little League, like there was always one or two kids in every team that pretty much did everything. The rest of us kind of just fell in line. You know
Well,
what I mean?
and I'll tell you, in Little League, I was a catcher. I pitched
Okay.
once in a long while. Once I turned like, I would say 14 or 15, I started throwing a little bit harder than other people. I mean, I graduated. I went into my senior year. I was 16 years old. I graduated 17.
Okay.
So by that time, I was throwing like 93, 94, sometimes 95. And but like ninth grade, I tried out as a catcher in high school, and there was a couple guys ahead of me that were better, bigger, stronger, And my dad, I went to JV, and my dad told the head coach, he's like, "Hey, he pitches. Don't let him tell you he doesn't. He doesn't like to, but he pitches." I pitched once, and I never played. I never caught again after that.
Oh,
And I
hell
pitched,
yeah.
and he liked it, and I started pitching, and then after that, just kept honing on. My like uncle that he just passed away a couple days ago. He was the one that kind of helped me pitching a lot, so uh, that's why I couldn't come on Friday. But he was the one that helped me out a lot.
Okay. All right. So when you're back in high school, are you just throwing fastballs and changeups? Did you ever
Oh, I threw
did you
curveball.
ever train the curveball and the slider? How many pitches did you have back in high school?
I threw a fastball, curveball, and a split that my kind of like my uncle taught me. But the split was kind of like I had to work on it for a while, blah blah, and it wasn't really a good split. It was just kind of like almost a split, but it would move different than my fastball because I mean I threw kind of hard, but um, that helped out. But I only threw like three pitches. Changeup I never got till, man, I didn't get a good changeup till like after I left the big leagues. Till when I went down to Mexico to play.
Okay.
So,
Well, is a changeup something you normally pick up as you get older? I remember guys like the Indians used to have Doug Jones. This guy, the joke was he had three speeds: slow, slower, and slowest. Like he didn't even have a fastball. He would just throw different. So is that something you pick up as you? Is it kind of like a cope for guys who are trying to keep their careers going, or are there guys who like are younger and they just got the changeup coming in? What's the deal with that?
me right now, I teach all the young kids a changeup so they don't throw a curveball. So they save their arm off the curveball, So they throw a changeup and they don't have to throw a curveball. Changeups, I think, is better pitch. It helped me my career tremendously because when I learned how to throw it, I wish I would have threw it more in the big leagues when I played, and I probably would have lasted a little bit longer. But it's just a pitch where it looks like a fastball, changeup. The guys that throw it later in the, like if they pick it up quicker in the end of, like I said, that's why guys last longer because they probably trust it more later in their career instead of learning, oh, I'm going to try to throw 100% every pitch. That's how injuries happen. As we see nowadays, what's happening, guys. But I think once you get older, you're playing already, you're experienced, you start throwing changeups a little bit more, and you can control it in, out of the plate. And the situations, you can throw it 3-2, bases loaded, nobody out, and guys are swinging on over it. That's awesome. I love seeing that. I think it prolongs guys' careers. It's good for your arm, and for the younger kids, it's a great pitch to learn because it's a pitch that no matter how hard you throw, it's going to be slower than your fastball, and it's something keeping the hitters off balance.
Okay. We got another question from Doof. It's been a minute since I've seen this movie. Have you ever seen the movie Basketball?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's an awesome movie.
With the psych out, it went up and go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny movie.
Oh my goodness, my goodness. All right, so back when you was in high school, man, did you like it's different nowadays? Like these kids nowadays, like it was funny because like man, I'll give you an example. My daughter's 16th birthday was yesterday. Her birthday party was yesterday. And by the time I was 16, I was already drinking beer, smoking cigarettes. Like, and these kids, I mean, I could guarantee you probably the whole lot of them probably never even smelled a beer. It's just a different
Yeah.
world in that regard. Like back in the day, was you the I'm gonna be in the gym all the time, or did you like a lot of us
The who?
party and you smoke cigarettes and
Hey,
shit like that? What were
the
you on
who?
that angle? What was you doing? What was you doing,
Hey, the what? The gym?
buddy?
I don't know. Go run steps, do some push-ups if you want. It wasn't back then. It wasn't a gym. I don't think I went to a gym till I signed professional baseball.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, it was more like run, go running, go do some push-ups, do some lunges, and that it was more running than anything.
Okay. Well,
Riding bikes.
were you a partier though? Did you throw down at all? The beer drinker back in high school?
Yeah, still.
Little up and smoke action. It was
Yeah,
funny
no,
because
I don't know not so
that was
much about that.
I didn't smoke weed until I retired out of the service, but it was funny because I was I saw that you had some Tijuana action. They instantly thought of that Up and Smoke movie when they were
Yeah.
out
Oh
on the
yeah,
bus.
that was my favorite movie back in the day.
They called the immigration on themselves to have the bus come pick them up so they get a ride home. That was so fucking funny. And you get a free sandwich
Yeah.
home.
Hey,
My
back in the
God.
day, growing up in San Diego, kind of try a little bit of everything. I'm into lowriders. I like oldies. I like old cars. So
Okay. All right. So when you're getting out of high school, did you start getting recruited by like colleges and stuff like that, or were you thinking you wanted to go pro? Did you think about the service? What was your thinking at that point?
when I was in high school, I went to a area code game up north. They didn't have a team for down south.
Okay.
So I went up north. They invited me to go to this area code game, which only threw 3 innings. And it was like not 3 innings back to back to back. It was like an inning here, an inning there. The funny part was I guess the manager of the guys didn't really know me. I wasn't from up the area, their area, their people or whatever. So he put me in bases loaded, no outs. Which is okay. I struck out 3 guys in a row. Then the next time he put me in again, like second and third, nobody out. I struck out 4 guys. Then the catcher dropped the ball and got to first, and then I struck out the next guy. Then the next time I pitched with bases loaded again, nobody out. I struck out 3 guys. After that, everyone started noticing me.
Okay.
So it was, and I remember my dad, we were driving up and he was like, hey, you have to remember these guys don't know you. Don't get discouraged. He's like, I know you don't really care. I'm more of one of those guys that whatever,
Right,
just like
right.
whatever I'll do, yeah. He's like, so when you get your shot, he's like, you might not pitch a lot. He's like, think of this. You might not pitch a lot, but this is your shot to show what you got. So he's like that, do or die, just like always, do or die. I'm like, all right. So when I got in there, that happened. And after that, I started getting letters from colleges, which our high school coach used to give me a paper bag full of letters. I'd go home and put it in my dad's office and be like, I got these. Coach Baumgarten told me to give these to you. He's like, you know what there are? I like letters from colleges. And he's like, don't you want to look at them? I was like, nah, you can do that. It's all right. I'm good. I didn't really that wasn't my, I like to have fun, play baseball. I love playing the game. I love competing. I wasn't looking at it till they started talking about it like my 11th grade year. All these colleges started coming around, pro scouts. That's when pretty much started getting idea. Down here there wasn't really that many. There's a friend of mine had signed the year before, 1990, Larry Mesa from here, Sweetwater. Benji Gill, he's a good friend of mine. He's from down here also. We were good friends. We grew up together playing. They started noticing him too. The only guy from down here was Kevin Mitchell. Keith Mitchell and them. And I mean, those were the only guys that we really looked up to. And we were like, oh, we can't do, we're from the hood, it's not really, oh, you think I can? Like, really? You think I get a shot? But I was like, it's far fetched, not really anything. But then my senior year, I only pitched 2 weeks. I strained my elbow and I didn't pitch the whole time. And before that, I was like, I don't know, they said I was like number 4 in the nation or something.
Okay.
But I went like 6th round. Toronto Blue Jays took a chance on me. And my dad's like, I was 17, so my dad had to sign for me. He's like, well, it's up to you. You tell me, I'll sign for you, whatever. They offered me like, what, $70,000, I think. And where everyone was talking, you might make a lot of money. And my dad was like, you want to sign or go to junior college? I'm like, I didn't go to school, high school. I was like, yeah. He was like, do you want to wait or what? And I was like, nah, let's go. I'll make my money later. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I'll go, let's go. I go, fuck it. Let's go.
All right.
And he's like, all right, I don't want you coming back crying that you miss everybody. I'm like, all right, don't come back home crying. He's like, you're going. So I signed and that's it. I didn't pitch for a year. I didn't pitch all 91. And then 92, I came back. And from there, at 91, I went to rookie ball, then went to instructional league. And then 92, my arm felt better. And from there, it was, I was 18 already and started feeling better and started playing.
Okay. What team did you root for when you was little? And was when the Blue Jays, when you found out it was Toronto, like you're down in warm ass weather, you go to the cold weather country. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
What's the deal there?
When I was growing up, I mean, Padre fan because I'm from San Diego, Padres. But I like to watch Nolan Ryan, and we used to watch Fernando. I liked Mike Marshall too.
Mike Marshall, there's a name. 106 appearances in 162 game season. That was my favorite. One of my I used to get these books, Jose, real big thick books. Baseball's greatest stories. They'd have like 2-3 pages on like just a random story. And I remember reading about Mike Marshall. For those overseas that don't know what we're talking about, Mike Marshall was a pitcher for the LA Dodgers, and he was studied like kinesiology and all this body movement and stuff. And he literally pitched 106 games out of 162 game season, still a record. And I think
crazy, huh?
Oh, it's wild. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so I used to watch them, and that was it. We used to play lineup in the backyard, with wiffle balls and stuff, and we'll go through the lineups and bat like the person who it was, It was fun.
God. 100%. I'm Brett Butler. I was always the Indians because we were in Cleveland, so I was like, I'd always call out these guys' names that would play in the Brooke Jacoby and Corey Snyder and Joe Carter and whoever was playing back then. God, that takes me back. I forgot about that, man. I totally forgot about that wiffle ball and all that. Yeah, man. It's weird because like back then, even baseball, even football and basketball, like we would always go to the park and just play. And I guess it's the video games, but you just don't see that anymore. You don't see. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a game of baseball at the park or even football or something like that. Back in the day, that was all we did. That's crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, you had to wait to get in on the field when I was a kid.
Right.
The park, you had to wait and see if we could join. Go up there and see if you could join.
Right. Oh my goodness. Nowadays, you could probably play 24 hours a day. Nobody can get bother you up at the baseball
field. True. Unless the travel ball team has it rented out the field and they don't practice.
They got these. Oh, I drove by? I think it was up here in Toledo. I go to Michigan to get weed, so it was right around there, Cedar Point, somewhere in there, that area. But they had this huge complex, man, and there must have been like 4, 5, 6 different baseball fields there, and I think it was like a Cal Ripken thing. It said on the building or whatever, if I remember correctly. But like it was like a huge complex. Like everybody would just, I think it's probably the travel ball. They'd all come to this one area. That's different from how I remember. Like when we played 8th grade baseball, we go to the different. Went to Catholic school, so we go to the different churches and the ballparks and play those guys and stuff like that. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, times change.
Oof. All right. So how did they? Do you remember? I know it's a random question. I always like asking this because it always intrigues me. Do you remember how they informed you of how you got drafted back then? Did they just give you a call? What was the deal?
Yes, it was just a call. We had it was funny because we had a barbecue at my house, like from the morning, the day of the draft.
Mhm.
And there must have been, I don't know, 100 kids there, high school kids from all different schools. We had different friends' moms came over, and they all were cooking and making pancakes, chorizo, huevo, burritos, and then we had carne asada, and then we had hot dogs and hamburgers, and we were all drinking and trying to hide it, in the back, drinking a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so they called, and then they came over that day, and we signed. Well, yeah, I think it was the first time. No, it was the second. They came over to talk to us, and my dad had told me there was Toronto Blue Jays, and we were like, "Well, Toronto, that's cold up there, man. It's like freezing." It's like. And then when the scout came, they told us, "Oh no, you would play down in Florida for Toronto is when you make it to the big leagues." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So, but they're like, "Oh, you go to Florida and you play." Then he explained all the minor leagues. I didn't know anything about that, where they played and stuff. I kind of knew, but didn't know, So, because a buddy of mine signed the year before and he was playing single A or double A, single A. And we were kind of like, oh, well, what is, you asked, but you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't around the whole summer. He was gone playing already. So by the time the draft came, I had known a little bit about it, but not a lot. So, and I didn't really care because I didn't know it was going to happen or not.
Right.
So they called us though. And then a scout came over.
Okay. They're talking that you had about Field of Dreams, great baseball movie. I like that corn game they played on the field there. That you seen that, right? The Field of Dreams game they played.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Oh, it's great. I just love the nostalgia of that. And dude, they used to have up until 89 or 90, whenever the Sky Dome was built. They used to play outdoors actually.
Yes, before
Exhibition Stadium, I think it was called, and then they built the Sky Dome, which was at the time the Sky Dome was a marvel. I mean, it still kind of is. I mean, it retractable roof, and I think you can still get the hotel rooms up there. They got hotel rooms in the outfield.
Yes, which
is pretty.
That was awesome to play there.
Oh yeah. Well, what was your first exposure to the Sky Dome? Did they give you like hey, here's a new recruit tour, and you a bunch of draftees go up to Toronto and get a tour? Or
no.
You got to the big leagues, or how did that work?
When I got to the big leagues, I got tour, and there, not really a tour. Just like here's the clubhouse, go in. Sure and quick. Here we go. There we go. But yeah, it was a good experience. When I got called up, I was hurt. I had some bone spurs in my elbow, so I wasn't really like, what? Let's go. I was like, oh man. I was like, right now. So, but they still called me up, and I pitched my couple innings. I got shellacked, but I was hurt. I had surgery at the end of the season, and I got traded to the Pirates.
Okay. Now, this is a random question. I don't know what made me think of this, but have you ever? Because your English is just as good as mine. We both grew up in America, but I'm assuming you speak Spanish because you had your parents.
Yes.
Probably. Though, did you ever get designated as like, here's Jose, the team's translator, and you get the new recruits coming in, or what?
Oh yeah, very much so. Even with the Pirates, we had when I played minor leagues, we had a lot of Dominican players, Venezuelan. They didn't speak any English.
Okay.
So I'd be the translator, and when I went to the Pirates, we had 5 Mexicans: Francisco Cordova, Ricardo Rincon, Elmer DeSanz, Esteban Loaiza, and me. And me and Loaiza would speak English because he's from down here too, Tijuana, San Diego area. Mm-hmm. So we would translate, and then he got traded, and then I would be the translator, and I'd just be like, hey, you guys got 12-pack, man, for for hey, 6-pack for you want to do an interview with so and so, hey, 6-pack. Bottle of whiskey.
That's great. Well, was there any, even you, like when you went going on the minor leagues, was there any culture shock stories, so to speak, anything funny like yeah, we got Ricardo Rincon over here, he's never been to Utah or something. It's just random shit like that. Any funny stories along those lines?
Like me, I'm like almost, I'm like 6'6", 6'6.5". I'm pretty tall, so a lot of people they would think I was like Puerto Rican or something. They didn't know I was Mexican. And you tell me you're Mexican, and you're like, what? They see, East people in the East back then, they would think, Mexicans are all short and stubby
right.
and dark skin and, you know, like they see in the TVs or the movies and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
um, but I mean, a little bit of whatever, but it just depends where you were at, like, Tennessee, some little minor league spots like that. You just got to watch where you're at. If you're in the wrong spot, the wrong time, everywhere has their bad spots, basically.
Any random minor league cities you really maybe you just didn't know about or whatever, and then you get there and you're like, wow, this is a really fun time. Someplace like that.
They were all fun.
Okay.
No, but I mean, there are little cities. I mean, we played in some nice old historic fields. Back then they still had them. South Carolina, the one with the bull, the Durham Bull
Well, Durham,
field. In Raleigh, we played in some old fields there too. South Carolina, Tennessee. There's some fields that were old, historic, and you're like, wow, I get to play here. So and so played here too, and it is, you don't really think about it till like you sit down and really think about it. Like, oh, I played here and I played there, and you look it up now and you're like, wow, that's an historic place. I played there in the '90s.
right?
That's crazy, but because now it's not, they don't play in those old stadiums anymore where you can't take showers and watch out where you step and everything's rusted and you might get a tetanus shot after playing there for the weekend. But I was lucky enough to be in a lot of those fields
That's great.
before they shut them down.
All right, so you September '96 call up to the Blue Jays. What's the couple games you play, right? What was when you first played? We first got called up, or first got called in. Were you on the pen? Were you starting? What was your first stadium experience?
I was a bullpen guy.
Okay.
So I came up in the bullpen. Like I said, I was hurt, so I only threw in like two. I threw like 2 games, I think, or 3. It's just my elbow. I had bone spurs and my elbow broke off the day before they called me up. I had bone spurs break off in my elbow, and I came to the stadium, and the manager was Omar Malave, and he was like, "Hey, I got some good news," and I go, "And I got some bad news for you." And he's like, "Well, tell me the bad news." I was like, "Well, my elbow hurt. I can't move it. It's swollen, blah, blah." He's all, "Go get it treated." And then he had to make some calls. And then he was like, "Hey, how about that good news?" He's like, "Oh, well, you're getting called up." I was like, "Oh, man, now?" And they still called me up, though. So they wanted me to experience it, be there in the big leagues and, hang out with the guys there. I kind of knew everybody already from big league camps and stuff, but
Okay.
they wanted me to be up there with them. And it was a good experience, but it was good to be called up, but then it was bad because I was hurt. I couldn't do nothing or prove anything to anybody.
Well, at that point, is it kind of anticlimactic, or was there any? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, this is awesome! Like any of those surreal moments for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was good. Like I said, it was bittersweet, I guess. It's kind of like, oh, man, right now, how come they couldn't call me up like, a couple of weeks ago? I was fine.
Right.
Then you could show what you got, 100%. And, whatever's going to happen, happens. You get hurt, right? You can't control that, right? Like something like that, bone spurs and stuff like that. But I'm glad I got called up. I got to meet some great guys, hang out with them for, couple months or so. And then I got traded to the Pirates and, and from there, whatever, it went on.
Yeah, my next question. Out of the Pirates, did you see any of that coming, or was that out of the blue?
No, it was way out of the blue. Way out of the blue. I got a call. Hey, you got traded to the Pirates. I was like, what? Way out of the blue. Way out of the blue. But I mean, like, I was working out hard already because I knew I had to come back from the arm injury,
Right.
and I just told myself bear down and show up spring training 100%.
Okay. Do you feel, was there more of going in there? Did you see more of an opportunity in Pittsburgh maybe than there would have been in Toronto, or was it kind of?
Yes. I mean, in Toronto, I think they were molding me to be, I don't know what. like a reliever, or I don't, because I had that car accident in '94, so I kind of messed those plans up for them, I guess, earlier. But I got in that car accident, and it held me back a while. But then when I went to Pittsburgh, I saw they needed some starters, in which I have done before for a long time. I was a starter, so that helped. But I just wanted to pitch. I didn't make the team out of spring training, but I got there like a month later, I think. So then I was in the bullpen for a little bit, and I spot started, and then I started, and then that was the thing in Pittsburgh. They never settled me in one spot. I guess different people like me doing different things. So, but
Did
it was good. It was all right. Good experience.
you have a preference? You like being a relief
I
starter?
didn't. I didn't care. Just if I would just got probably left in one spot the whole season, I probably would have done a little better.
Okay.
Or I mean, you get used to doing something, you do it, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. Baseball's baseball. I think it was more of a when you start, you have a little bit more time to think about it. Relieving. It was just I was relieving, and then in 1 week I'd relieve and start in 1 week. So it was kind of hard.
All right.
It was a little difficult.
All right. Being a pitcher, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. So I'm going to ask you a question, then I just let you answer this. Being a pitcher, do you guys get like attached to catchers? Like, oh, I need Jason Kendall to do my pitching for me. Like, I remember Greg Maddux used to have somebody. Is it like that, or do you just, figure it out? What's the deal there?
No. I liked Kendall. I liked throwing to Kendall. He had good hitter, great behind the plate. Also like Keith Olsick, he was our backup catcher. Also, he studied a lot of the hitters. He knew me very well. He always catch my bullpens and when I threw. So I had some great games with Keith behind the plate. I mean, I kind of just went with what the pitchers usually do, but basically throw what they want, except if the catchers had a little bit better preference of knowing the hitters more than I do. But I wasn't really like that, be too picky, but I I kind of like, I don't know. I guess either or was good, because like LaRue caught me too over there in Cincinnati. He was a good catcher. Corky Miller too, who's a very good catcher. Called the games, knew the hitters. So I guess anybody that would help you do better in your task of winning the game, trying to win the game, it was always the choice. Probably for the next game, kind of superstitious, but you go with what you had at that moment, So always try to be fair and have I don't know. I guess
All right. Sorry about that.
whoever, yeah, no problem. Whoever was doing good at that moment, that's who I would go with, I guess.
Sorry about that little break there, man.
Oh, no worries.
Sometimes, man, when I get this thing, whenever I go to the bathroom, I gotta fucking pee, and there's either pee on the floor or they run outside. So I had to, how it goes, man. That's a random question now. What if you're on the bullpen and there's no bathroom there? Do you guys just like pee wherever, or what's the deal?
Oh no, there's always a bathroom.
Okay. That's good, man. Because when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah,
you really gotta go. All right. So do you have like you go from the AL to the NL? Did you were a catcher, so you batted a little bit in the major leagues? I mean, did you have a preference for that, or is that just I just got a job, doesn't matter?
I didn't. I mean, I was in the National League. I mean, when I was coming up in the minor leagues, we couldn't touch a bat. So it was DH in the American League, National League. They didn't even have interleague yet, so we couldn't touch a bat. We just hit fungos to the starting pitchers. Would hit fungos to the infielders because back then there was only like 3 coaches, so there wasn't enough coaches, to do everything. So we would hit fungos. But when I got to the Pirates, I mean, I hadn't touched a bat since high school. In my senior year, I didn't really pick up a bat. I was hurt. So, I wasn't really that good of a hitter in high school, when I was younger. Tall, long, I had a long swing. So I don't know. I kind of sucked hitting. Even bunting. I got some good. I got a couple hits here and there. I got like, man, I don't know, 6, 7 hits, maybe 8 hits in the big leagues. But that's it. But I didn't really. I broke my wrist hitting my rookie year too, bunting. I turned in on the. I just turned and I hit myself. They broke my wrist, but.
Are you surprised the DH lasted as long as it did? I mean, it's because they started interleague play. Were you in when they did interleague play? Did you?
Yes.
I'm trying to think what year they started doing it.
Like 99, 2000.
Okay. This is right towards the tail end of your stuff. It seems like so. There was, in all the rules changes that just came in, they had a lot of recent rules changes. Are there some that you like and some that for me, like the pitch clock, right? I thought I was going to hate that, but it turns out I kind of like it because it does.
Yeah, it's pretty. I kind of like it because it rushes the hitters too. Some of the hitters take forever. Some of the pitchers take forever. I don't like the don't slide into second. I don't like that because the double plays never like when I was coming up, double plays never considered a gimme. Now it's considered a gimme. Any ground ball, it's like, oh, the guy's not going to slide hard, or you trying to rush to second to break the double play up because that'll give you another run. If there's a guy at second or a guy at third, they get a double play, the guy breaks it up. It's a double, there's no double play, bad throw. The catcher at home, I kind of like them not blocking the play until they have the ball. I like that, but not being able to take them out, I think I don't know. I think that's just part of the game.
Right.
I don't know. Those are little things I think the base being too big too, like over. I mean, you're pros. Come on, step on the back.
I don't like the extra innings rule either. I'm not a big fan of
Yeah,
that.
I don't like that. The guy at second.
Yeah.
I don't like that either. That's like softball.
Yeah,
that's like trying to save time.
Right.
Like softball. Hey, the sun's going down. Hey, let's put someone at second. Let's see who wins.
Right. It's ridiculous, man. It's
that's part of managing the. That's part of managing the. I think that takes away a job for the manager to manage his bullpen, to manage his players throughout the whole game, right? So you don't end up not having the guy at the end to win the game for you, or a pitcher that could come in and shut him down. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff. Like when you're just, I don't know.
That's another random one I missed that I forgot. I missed the guy coming in just for one batter. Like, oh, we got Scott Bales. He's gonna come in here and pitch this one guy, and then he pitches and gets him out.
Yeah, you got to pitch to 3. Yeah, that too. I mean, it gives the pitchers a little bit more. I don't know. It's just about strategy. Baseball is about strategy. It always has been. You're taking that element away, I think. But
what is your take overall on that? I mean, do you think the analytics? I mean, the more we get into computers, the more it's permeating in the thing. You don't get the old, big old fat guy coming out there with his gut instincts. You just have some dork on a computer. Yeah, this guy is 58% more likely to strike out a left-hander. Shit like that. Do you think that we'll get back to that eventually? I mean, it seems like the rules they put in is just to take away the analytics. Like
I think analytics has always been there, though. Analytics has always been there because they had the spray charts before. You look, like I remember you see Tony Gwynn's spray charts everywhere, right? If you see McGuire's spray chart, he pulls everything center field to left field. Like different hitters had different. He's a pull ball hitter, so you try to get him to hit it to the opposite field, right? Which is true today. But I think today they're just overdoing it because there has to be the human effect in there too. Someone's going to make an error. He can't hit a slider. Well, whose slider? Because everyone's slider is different. Not everyone's the same. Like it comes out from different angles. Someone throws it harder. Someone has a better fastball. Someone pitches inside. The other one doesn't. A guy has sinkers. Another guy doesn't. That makes the slider more effective. The guy hits fastballs. Well, whose fastball? Like Chapman's fastball or, Moyer's fastball? It's a big difference. Like, he hits this pitcher, he throws all sinkers. Okay, a Greg Maddux sinker or who sinker? Like Greg Maddux sinker is nasty, and his slider, his control, that's the difference. That you can't. I think you can't put a measure on that exactly, but it helps. Of course, it gives you a little idea, but you can't go off of that. Like taking pictures out. Oh, it's been two times through the lineup. We got to take them out now because the computer says now they're going to start hitting them. Well, if the guy hasn't given up a hit, well, he's doing something right that day, right? Or so you got to keep them out there. You got to trust your gut instinct sometimes.
There reminds me of the one Simpsons where they recruited the guys to play for the softball team, and then they got Darryl Strawberry at bat, and it's like, oh no, bring in Homer because they say a right-handed pitcher is better, a right-handed batter is better. So they benched Darryl Strawberry, who had 8 home runs. That was funny.
That was funny. Yeah, I remember that one.
All right, so you ended up playing a decent amount of baseball down in Mexico, where Trevor Bauer is right now, I believe.
Yes.
Aside from the obvious financial differences, is there like any differences in like the style of Mexican ball, or is it kind of the same? Is it more like 80s ball in Mexico? What's the deal with baseball in Mexico as opposed to the States?
Opposed now it's a lot better. The stadiums are a lot bigger. People, it's a lot better now. Facilities are a lot better. The travel's bad. It's either bus, plane. You gotta, like minor leagues. It's more like I would like to say it's like a trip, like AA but AAA talent down there. You have some good ex big league guys playing down there. Some really good ex big league guys. I think before, like the past couple of years, like last year, Trevor Bauer was there. They had 20 imports, per team, which before it used to be like 7 imports. So you have more Mexican players. So I'm not saying a lot of Mexican players are bad. It's just, down there, the players, they get comfortable with their jobs and they just try to keep their job and, not do too much, because then they get expected to do that much. But I think I would say it's a little different than AAA. I would say AAA is a little bit better because the facility-wise, not anymore. Before they were. Now, I would say AAA big league, probably like right in the middle there now.
Okay.
But it's good competition. A lot of good players down there. I coached down there actually last summer with Benji. He was with he still is with Jalisco, Charros de Jalisco. We had Derek Rodriguez as one of our starting pitchers.
Okay.
Ivan's son. We had some guys from the big leagues down there that pitched. So, it's a pretty good league.
Okay. Back to Trevor Bauer is random. What do you think about? Do you think the league is inspiring against him? Do you think there's still talent there in Trevor Bauer? He seems to be doing good down there. What's your take?
I think if you talk too much, they're right. Like you got to stay in your lane sometimes. Yeah. You get out of your lane and you try to beat. I don't know. I just say you can't bash the people. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't take out all the negatives of a company, which baseball is. Major League Baseball is a company, and point out all their negative things about it and expect to get a job. You know what I mean? Right. I just think that's he's great talent. He has a great arm, great pitches, great. He just has to. Sometimes you got to keep your mouth shut. I think.
I'll still not, and it sucks because I know it was an accident. He didn't do it on purpose. But when he fucked around with that drone in that 2016 World Series, it cost Cleveland the championship, dude. We wanted that. We deserved that title, and that was pretty much the curse that started it all again. We haven't been the same since.
Yeah.
It's
the guy could pitch.
Man, we could have won that game too.
Still hurts.
Oh, it's right here, man. Because the burden was lifted a couple months before that when the Cavs did it, and that was like, like my life changed. It was when the clouds open, you hear the I was entering my 40s pretty much that year, and finally won the title, and then we maybe get the Indians to do it too, and then womp womp.
Yeah,
man, that was so close. Oh well, maybe someday, probably not, right? Probably not. All right, what size baseball hat do you wear, and do you like have a hat collection? How many baseball hats you own?
Oh, I got, they have boxes, the boxes they come in when you buy them.
Right?
I must have like 10 of those full,
Okay.
and like another seven, probably about 5 sleeves of plastic in plastic bag.
Okay.
I probably got a lot of hats.
I got so many hats. I love.
Yeah, I got too many hats.
Well, when you're, I'm in the bald club too. When you're bald, it's just so much easier.
Well, I've always shaved my head, so
okay.
I've always shaved my head. I'm getting there though. My hair's getting kind of thin, but I don't wear hats that often. To tell you the truth, I wear like one hat, a Mexico hat, once in a while, and that's about it. A black one.
How was your memorabilia collection beyond the hats? You got a lot of like your old jerseys and baseballs, and
I got jerseys. I got baseball signs by a bunch of guys. I don't have a lot of stuff. I just have certain things, like guys I knew, guys I know, and things like that. Some bats here and there, not crazy. I got some here and there. A lot of Hall of Famers I play with them and they ended up being Hall of Famers. So I got a lot of stuff from them, and a lot of baseballs, bats signed. And
okay. Besides Pittsburgh, what MLB parks did you really thought were like cool, like really cool looking?
I always liked Wrigley.
Okay.
The old Milwaukee Stadium. I like the old Milwaukee Stadium. It just had character, it was a little different.
Right.
It's big, like like open, seemed like. I don't know. I think the older stadiums had a little bit more character than the newer ones. The newer ones all kind of look alike, kind of.
Cookie cutters, right? Yeah, it's funny because you started out. I mean, the classic stadiums, the Wrigley's, the Fenways, the Ebbets Fields. So like every park had to fit into the city block, and it had certain cool characteristics.
Yes.
Like here's a train yard, here's this and that, and then in the 70s, man, they started building these multi-purpose ones, and everything was the same. River, and they all had generic names too, based on where Riverfront Stadium, Three River Stadium. It was just all just generic. And then in the 80s, in the 90s, they started getting into they grasped for the nostalgia, so they started going back to the Camden Yards was the first one of that, and now it's just all over the place. But I think what's your favorite? I mean, would your favorite era probably be the classic one? I would say. I mean, I was never around for the 20s and 30s and shit like that. I never get to see Ebbets Field and the Polo Grounds and whatnot. But I mean, that would just seem to be a lot more fun than here's the same stadium as all the other 32 stadiums. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think the 70s would have been cool. 60s and 70s, because the uniforms too, they're all different. Like I don't know, the style of that era, 60s, 70s. I think that base those stadiums had character. They were different. It was about baseball. Like nowadays they have I remember when I was playing, they didn't have like the signs. A lot of the signs on the fence. Now all the fences are full of like a minor league field. I think that was a big difference. You didn't. I don't know. It's you went to certain fields, and like when they built Arizona, that was nice. That was way different than anybody has ever seen. A pool in the outfield, like wow,
Bank one ball. Chase Field now. Chase Field. I saw a game when I was down in Phoenix. I saw a game down here. Really fun. I got a funny story. There was this girl. It was 4 of us. We was down there for some military thing, and the 4 of us went to the game. This girl, Crystal, was there with me. Never been to a baseball game in her life, and I've been to hundreds of games. I mean, I had season tickets to the Indians at one point, and a home run comes out, and it lands right in the aisle next to her. She picks the ball up. This is your girl's first game in her entire life. Gets a home run ball. I've been going at 30, 40, 100 games. Never get one. I'm like, Crystal, what's your ridiculousness? Give me the damn. I was fucking with her. I was like, throw it back, because it was the other team that hit it. And it's in Arizona too. And Arizona is one of those cities, man. It's like a transplant city. Like nobody in Arizona is from Arizona. So
right.
It's just weird dynamic down there, man. Weird down there, brother. All right. We got a couple questions coming in, and then we got some silly questions, and we'll get on out of here. Doof says, if you could change anything about baseball, what would it be?
I don't know. Probably like I said, the sliding in the second, sliding into home. The clock I like because maybe a little bit longer, maybe like 3 seconds longer. Give the guys a little time. The throw over 3 times, the throw over. That's kind of crazy to me too. I think that's it. I mean everything. Oh, and the guys when they hit a home run, them turning the lights off and on and all that, like the big show. I know they do it for the fans, but it takes away from it. I think.
For sure. All right, we got a question from my buddy Lep. He says, "What's your favorite kind of taco?"
um, Marlin taco.
Marlin
and fish tacos.
Oh, Marlin tacos. Okay.
Marlin. Yeah, Marlin.
I don't know if I've ever had Marlin. I've had fish
Marlin's
tacos.
good.
It's
a San Diego thing. San Diego, Tijuana,
right by the ocean. Let makes a
yeah.
birria
tacos are good too.
Oh fuck! You dip them in that little sauce thing.
That's good too. But my favorite are the Marlin ones are very good.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to try some Marlin tacos. Put that on the list. We'll order some Marlin from somewhere. Get some Marlin tacos popping. Hell yeah! All right, now it's time for some. We always end the show with some silly questions. What kind of dishwashing detergent do you use?
No, we don't use dishwasher detergent.
Well, you got some kind of soap like Joy or
we use soap. We just use the eco-friendly. I don't know, eco-friendly kind of soap. I don't know what it's called.
Okay. How long could you sit in a library and do nothing before you would fall asleep?
Like 5 minutes. yeah. Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe. For sure.
That's great. When was the last time you were at the zoo?
Oh, I have little kids, so like maybe November.
Okay. My daughter's at the zoo right now, actually. I think she's taking the grandkids there. I think they got a season pass because she goes to the zoo constantly.
All the time, yeah.
In Cleveland, if you're here in Cleveland, like the zoo is free on Mondays.
So really?
That's when I go is Mondays because it's like, well, because the art museum's free too. If you're ever in the Cleveland area, you want free shit to do, go to the art museum because that's free during the week, and then the art museum's closed on Monday, and that's when you go to the zoo because that's free.
Oh, nice.
So you just gotta
good to know.
Yeah, when you got young kids, man, it's like the mall and the zoo because like you don't want to spend all this money on these little kids, and then what if you take them up to the to the Five Below, or not the Five Below, what's the Dave and Buster's, and you spend $80 on tickets.
Oh, more than that.
Walking around now, they're bored out of their mind. That's wasting your money.
Now it's a lot more than that.
Damn ridiculous. I'm kind of. I mean, my kids are older now, so I'm like kind of glad they are. But now you miss them. But I got the grandkids, so it's like there's always little kids around somewhere, man. All right. Let's see here. When was the last time you used a vacuum cleaner?
A what?
Vacuum cleaner.
Oh, to vacuum my car. That's about it.
Okay.
2 days ago.
Pinky says San Diego is. I've actually been to the San Diego Zoo. I have. It's so hilly, dude.
Yes, it's nice. Is you get tired there?
You get
for sure. They added some stuff to it. It looks it's nice.
Okay, I'll have to be down there, man. All right. This question was in the chat, but I'm gonna see if you Korn versus Pantera. Who would you pick out of those bands?
Pantera.
Pantera. That's tough. Pantera's got. I would have to pick Pantera too because they got some better bangers. Korn's got the good ones though. I'm not gonna discount Korn. That's a good question for left there. I love it. Have you ever been in a Ferrari? What about a Lamborghini? And do you have a favorite car?
Yes, been in both. I like Ferrari better.
Okay.
I don't know. I hardly fit in either one. I don't like getting out because it takes me a long time to get out. My favorite car is I don't know, probably a 60 Impala convertible.
Something nice and tall. I'm the same way. I'm 6'3", so it's like you're getting these little sports cars. You're crouching down.
I don't like those. I like bigger cars.
Oh, yeah.
I like old cars. I like old cars.
Speaking of cars, how long would it take you to parallel park a car?
Quick. I'm good. I'm a good driver.
All right, cool. I'm probably a 4 out of 10. I'm not a bad driver. I'm not the worst driver, but I'm not a good driver, and I've been in accidents. So, like, if you want to take a ride with me, No, it's fine. Just be prepared. We might hit a curb or two. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. All right. Who are the three most famous people you have ever met in your life? Would you say?
Three most famous people. Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. Of course, Fernando Valenzuela, Michael Jordan. Um, I don't know who else would be famous. I know a lot of people in Mexico. So
Okay.
Vicente Fernandez, the singer.
Okay.
That's what I would say right there. Michael Jordan, Vicente Fernandez, Fernando Valenzuela.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I've never met any of those guys. The closest I've been to Jordan would probably be just a random game back in the day, I would say. I was like, right, we had this season tickets once and they put us on the bench. And
Hey,
Cavs, the
he
Cavs
got a
won.
hit off of me.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah, in Double A.
Oh, no way. That's a great story. What tell me that story. This is cool.
So we're playing in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was in Double A. This one I threw like 100 and whatever. It was before my car accident. It was it was 94, and you know they make extra room for Jordan because he brings all these people right to the stadium and whatever, and like the fans, right? So I used to throw in a lot. They're like, man, you won't throw him chin music. You're too scared, right? So I'm like, whatever, dude. So I pitch against him, throw him a little chin music. Then I blew by him again. I mean, I'm throwing like a 98, 99, like 100, right? Then I throw him a curveball. So he bags out, throws a bat at the ball, and hits it between first and second, right? He's already at first because he runs so fast, right? And I'm like, oh my God. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you throw hard, huh? Who cares? Look at guy never played baseball since high school, got a hit off you. I was like, oh damn. Next day he signed some baseballs for me.
That's awesome, man. To
Yeah.
give up, I mean, just because like, I mean, if you think about it, there's probably 1,500 people who could say, "Oh yeah, I was out there against the court, Michael Jordan." But I mean, how many hits did this guy get in his minor league career? That's
Hey,
great.
he got one off of me.
Love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
and I talked to him the next day. I went out and I talked to him and I met him, and he's a good dude.
Okay. Who would you pick out of the Beatles or Queen?
Beatles.
Okay, that seems a popular answer. A couple people in the chat were saying Beatles. Good stuff. Angie was saying Beatles.
Yeah, I like Beatles.
All right. Do you like the Caribbean? Have you ever been to the Virgin Islands?
Yes, love them. Very relaxing. I've done some baseball stuff down there. Very nice, very good people, very nice people. Good talent too.
I want to get back
Down
to
there.
Virgin Islands. Virgin Islands everybody has their Caribbean spot. Well, everybody in the East Coast does, I think. And mine's Virgin Islands. And it was just random because I knew this one friend was down there. She's like, "Yeah, come down and see us." I was like, "All right." So I went down there in St. Thomas, and me and my son love it. Just the blue water and the
that's nice. Relaxing.
I like the beaches where it's a little more secluded because it's like hard to get there because you got to take the cab and it goes up in all these twisty ass Caribbean roads and shit. But once you get there, man,
it's nice.
Nice. Oh, all right. I'm gonna book a vacation after this. I swear to God. All right. What is something you haven't done yet? You're sure you're gonna do by the time you are 60, and what is your advice for your future self?
I've done almost everything. I've done a lot of stuff. Skydive. I've never skydived before. Or parachute, like in a parachute.
I looked into that. I want to do that too. I mean, it's like you got to be under 2.25, I think. At least the one side I saw said. Because I want to do the thing where it's like free fall. I don't want to like have some guy in my ass strapped.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. But I weigh like 275. So
all right, we're gonna have to get some adjusted straps for this skydiving, right? Hell yeah. All right. Do you have anything to promote, and how can people get hold of you if you want people to get hold of you?
I don't know. I invented a little baseball thing. I have it's called the throwing lane.
Okay.
It's for kids learning how to, play catch, or just not learning, just kids to keep them in line. It's for direction. I call it it's called Get Right Throwing Lane. I invented it before COVID. COVID hit. I got a bunch made. I sell them. I think they help the kids very much. keep them directions, get them into good muscle memory, get them in good mechanics wise, because everything starts with your feet and ends with your head going forward. It's all about direction, getting your feet, glove, head, body in the right directions for your throwing mechanics. And I think that would eliminate a lot of injuries for kids. I use it for playing catch on the mound, for catchers throwing to second base. I use it with my kids hitting, so they stay. They don't pull off the ball. Try to stay in the lane. Um, I've been using it now. I use it every day when I do my pitching lessons or my classes, and it seems to work. Gets the kids that muscle memory for their body to get into the direction they want to throw the ball. It works for infielders, outfielders, everything.
Okay. I'd like to thank Mr. Jose Silva for taking the time out of his busy day to come out here and talk to my goofy ass. Appreciate it, my friend. Anything you ever need out there, you just let me know. And we'll see you guys probably tomorrow. I think Mark Schwab from the Channel 19 is going to be on tomorrow, but we'll get a date. But thanks for coming out, my friend. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right, man. Bye.
Peace.